through the vast and forbidding fens. When all was prepared, King Aguiar and his loved ones again boarded boats, wondering what their new home would be like. Soon they were gliding through an eerie world. High over their heads, like threatening arms, rose the marsh growths, great thickets of reeds, sharp, spear-like grasses, gnarled and rotted stumps hoary with moss and lichens, and here and there a glorious blossom far out of reach. For Val, this was all magnificently exciting. At midday they emerged into a place of openness and wide sky, and the channels grew broad like great motionless rivers. They cooked a meal over peat fires, kindled in deep turtle shells lined with sand in the bottom of the boats. By sundown, they drew near their island and landed. In the dimming light, Val looked about him at the wild, matted hummock of land that was thenceforth to be his home. He smiled, for in its wilderness he saw mystery and promise of adventure. Next morning, work was started on the new houses for the exiled king and his kin and henchmen. Trees were felled, and the logs hacked into shape. Slowly, and with much labor, the royal manor, deep in the fens, began to take shape. But for Val, there were more serious matters to be attended to. He slipped off to explore the mysterious world around him. He had pushed his canoe with its rude wooden paddle close to a neighboring island when he heard a rustling. Down went Val's paddle, up went his bow. The next instant the reeds parted, and he met a half-wild native boy. Forgotten at once where their differences in language and birth, remembered only was the spirit of adventure. Soon Val was learning to hurl the fish spear against the great pike of the open channels, to throw the weighted net and capture the wild birds, to shoot ducks on the wing with arrows cunningly forked. But there was danger, too. It happened several weeks later, after Prince Val had gone on many expeditions with his native companion. They were paddling in the shallows when a monstrous lizard-like beast, which in those days inhabited the fens, suddenly reared up out of the mud before their boat. Val's bow twanged viciously, but could not halt the creature which now lunged at them. Jumping from their dugout, they scrambled ashore on one of the small islands, taking refuge in the topmost branches of a tall tree. All through the night, they could hear the fen dragon prowling tirelessly below. They flung branches, they yelled. A sinister detail was added to the night's horror. Far off, over the most dismal part of the fens, Val noticed a tiny flickering light. "No one lives there," Val's companion said, shuddering. But Val marked the place well in his memory. By morning, with the dragon still below, Val finally hit on the means of outwitting and killing it. At the cost of a suit of skins, 2 stout branches bent and notched, and many blisters, Val and his companion fashioned an ingenious and powerful trap, resembling a pair of wooden jaws held up by a tiny trigger of wood. With perfect timing, Val let it drop over the dragon's head. The trigger sprang out, the notched jaws came together with a snap. The lashing and writhing that instantly followed threatened to shake the tiny island to pieces. That evening, home once more, Val was inattentive to the old tutor his father had set over him to give him the book learning a prince should have. While the old man droned on, Val was thinking of the mysterious light far over the fens and making plans to find the source of it. As soon as his morning exercises were over, for King Aguiar deemed it wise to keep his men in fighting trim, Val set forth, alone, in his dugout through the maze of channels toward the haunted place where he had marked the fire. The gray fog swept in from the sea. He was forced to stop. He built a fire and slept. In the chill of early dawn, he awoke to see a huge shadowy form.